Are we ready? Okay. Well, welcome to another episode, actually our final episode of our secure messaging, how to create how to set up the spreadsheets. And today we're going to be doing the spreadsheet one more time to show how we set it up in preparation for the data when it comes in at the beginning of the week. Okay. But today the main difference is that you notice that today we have, on the screen here it's showing wave 5. Today we're going to create the graphs for wave 6, and just like a kind of a straightforward brute force type of way to do it here. Okay, right. Now just like we do from the beginning, we're just going to get this thing set up for putting the raw data in for when the data does come in. So time is 13, 0, 5, 2, 6, which was this Sunday, until Saturday, let's see, 0, 6, 0, 1. So that'll be for this data. Okay, so that's set up. Okay. Okay. So I guess what we also need to do here is find out what the next site is. So you notice that wave 6 will start off with Goodfellow, because they just had their final on-site training yesterday.
Where do you see that?
Let's see. I'm right over here. And this
Oh,
has the
28,
dates. It's 28 May. That's this week.
Yeah.
And this is the first base, which is Goodfellow, and this is number 6, which means wave number 6. And we just finished. This past week we added Vance on there, even though they didn't have much data to speak of, but that was the end of wave number 5. So today we're going to be adding Goodfellow to the list, and we'll also create the wave 6 graphs. So we know we're looking for Goodfellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, Control F, find, so we can find Goodfellow's, what it looks like there, and that's Goodfellow's coming up here. Well, actually I better not do this just yet, and jump back, create where we're going to put it. So you see everything's here, it goes down to G, click it once, it'll be between Fairchild and Grand Forks, so click this, right click, insert, and now we've created the new row for the new base here. Click over here, come back, copy, Control C, jump back here, go up to the top here, Control V, and we have Goodfellow in. And you know, it's going to go right there, but in the meantime we want to get everybody else set up. So over here, down click, Control C, Control V. See again, click down, insert, Control C, Control V. Let's see, this one, you know, I usually don't like to have all these colors over here, because this sort of represents the added impanelment. So what I'm going to do, let's see, the new one is going to be week 70. So actually this is the colors that we want here for these 3. So what we'll do is come under here, the empanelment comparisons files that we got from Dr. Holland. And we'll try to find Goodfellow on here. Shouldn't, yeah, there it is. So it was 7446. Go back here and put in 7446. And if you want to, you can even just copy and paste each one of them in there. So that's the population for right now. Okay, so we'll continue on here. Control C, Control V. Now this one has the four over here, and so what we'll do is just highlight those, grab the little corner over here, hold down the button and drag it here, and so we'll see that it is taking from row 32 from the running totals and the empanelment page, so that one's okay. And if you're wondering why I'm just doing each tab at a time like this way they're all lined up, so when you actually see them, it goes back exactly to the same place, and it's one of those ways to help remember not to forget, well, help keep you from forgetting stuff. Because if you do everything on one spreadsheet and get all the different things in there, then you go to the next spreadsheet, try and do all the same things, you might forget a step, and then when you bring all the data in, it's you may be missing something. So this way everything changes together, and you're doing the same step on each one. It's kind of like the assembly line approach here, but at least it keeps everything moving properly. See, again here, this is the invites percents, and so this one, and can cross-check that just to make sure we're okay here. Okay, just one of these things. Just putting this back the way it was, just remember I forgot to do that. Okay, so row number 32 is now Goodfellow. I'm going to drop down to the blue area. See, 1, 2, 3. So 3 clicks down. And insert for this one. So Goodfellow. Highlighting it there. Control C. 1, 2, 3. Put it in there, coming up here so we don't alter the color. And then also, so we know what we're doing here. So that's looking at those 3. Okay, and so since the one right above it, Fairchild, it only deals with one row also, we should be able to use that as a template and just line them up, drag the corner down, and you can see this one now goes to the corresponding row 32 box. Check it to make sure it actually goes where we want it to go. Okay, see now this one here, when we're doing this empanelments one does serve as sort of like like a recheck type of thing, just to make sure that you're doing it properly. Just remember that up above there we did already put the impoundment number, so we do that. Notice that we do get that right, that correct number in there, and so at least we're making these changes the right way and doing it consistently between all the different spreadsheets. This one takes it from the other one, so again we just pull it down like that instead. Okay. See, instead of insert, it says insert copied cells.
Yeah, you gotta escape.
So I got.
Can you just undo?
I may be able to. Well, it's a paste that we would be trying to undo.
No, you still have to escape out of it.
Okay, there. What I ended up doing is I went back to the original place where I had it and then just pasted it back onto itself. So, there, okay. And again, notice that we have, for the ones that have the percentages, we have 4 columns instead of just 3 columns that are empty. And whereas the other ones always have three empty columns. Okay. So we need to come down here, create. Okay. We need to create our next wave. So I'm creating wave number 6. See, this one's going to be a little. Well, what we can do is I can use this, but basically I'm just dumping everything in here and going up to where Goodfellow is and clicking on that one.
Because you don't have any clinics.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So right now, that's the only one, and I'm just doing that. Just remember, next week when you add the next one, just put a comma and click in for the next space.
Yeah.
Don't try not to do one where you do a summation across several rows, because future waves I found out that when you start stretching and putting things in between, it'll start stretching out and start adding those things that are in between that are from the later waist, and then your number here will end up being too large.
I think they should have implemented this thing alphabetically. That would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was probably some politics that went into that that influenced which ones, and then finally down here for the total one, you notice that it only goes there, so you can actually stretch it like that to make sure it includes the whole thing, because this is for Air Force total. This is new, so we'll stretch it out across here so that it includes for all of them. And then just once again we need to change this one. Okay, so now we've see this one is completed now. So let's see. Actually, yeah, see, we're going to want to change all of this. So you can see how it goes from here, and then it jumps up to include 163. See how these numbers already changed for us. Okay. See how I just added the new one, then added it in here. Don't need that. So these percentage ones are always going to be a little bit different, because these things actually pull from the other ends. So that should be most of those done there. Okay, now remember how I showed you last time I'm going to add the new columns in. And so remember I right clicked and inserted right before that last one. And then come all the way down to the last bit of data, grab the corner, drag it across, and then that should have done it. Now it's set up. Now this is ready for the new data to come in. Okay, again highlighting everything here. All the way down there, grab the corner, hold it and stretch it out. See how it autofills all the dates for us too. And so, see, click, right click, insert, and grab these two columns. And remember, these two columns are for the first two that don't have data filled in yet. So at least this way it preserves all the colors and all the other patterns that we want. Click, right click, insert, grab these two columns, light them up all the way down, take the corner, drag it across. And everything looks good there. Connected percents, remember this is the ones with the percents are a little bit different. Even though we're still doing that, but we take these two instead of the other adjacent two. Still don't quite understand why it works that way, but it keeps the pattern working correctly. Because if you do it any other way, it'll give you an unusual pattern when you start looking for it. It won't necessarily correspond to the proper column when you finally put the data in. Okay, so now all these data sets are done. So now we can finally move on to the actual graphs. Now remember, for these things, what I've ended up doing, just so that they all look alike from wave to wave, is that I've manually set the high limit. So if you light up the actual numbers on this side, right click it, and then let's see, format axis. You can actually see what we put as fixed as for the maximum. Otherwise, it would automatically set the maximum numbers to whatever the highest measure is. And we want to fix it because we want it to be the same from wave to wave. Although whichever wave has the highest one, you can set that one to automatic. But then, just like Colonel Kerr was talking about before, sometimes one wave may overtake another wave.
Yeah.
And so you just have to keep an eye on that from week to week. Okay, right click in the middle here, select data, and see all these things. We're going to change this part first. So, as it goes all the way over here, we're going to include week 70, so it's from BR to BS. So inside here, change that, and we have to use the keyboard now. Backspace, or if you put it in front of the R, you could use the delete button, but then you add the S over here. So you can see how it added the new date on here. And it's fine if you don't mind everything being crowded, but we've decided we only wanted to have so many columns. So we have because of that, we had to go back here and edit it. So from BC, we're going to go to BD now. So backspace D. And click on that one, edit, come over here. So if you put it on this side, just do delete and then put it in there instead of backspace. It just depends on your preference. Yeah, just that, see this little number character, or that actually a $sign type character, that cannot be taken out. That somehow helps it to code which cell you're dealing with. So you got to be very careful what you remove and what you leave in. And so you can see as we're doing that, everything starts shifting over. And so now we can finally eliminate this data set, because we eliminated that 9 February from all of these over here. That's what we're doing by changing it from BC to BD. But this one still goes from BC all the way to BR or BS now. And so we're going to come back over here, and as a final thing to change that one to the BD. And so now everything lines up and it's ready for the new data. And I just do it that way. Just it's another one of check and balance type of thing. Because this way, if you miss one of them, it'll still go all the way to the end instead of shifting over to the left with everybody else. Yeah, a lot of the stuff, I've done this the way I'm doing it as a way to account for human error and trying to put enough little built-in stuff so you can try to catch it when it does happen. Yeah. So you can see how, let me just, there, this way you can actually see how this one that we just changed moved over like that, because all we did was we removed the 9 February piece from it. So I'll go here and continue on. So if you get your fingers in the right place, you can do this a little bit quicker. I suppose you might be able to even do it faster if you had 2 people, one person on the mouse and another person on the keyboard. This way they can have their fingers in the exact right place as soon as everything is, the cursor goes into the right position. I guess you haven't seen those things where you have like a tag team playing instruments and stuff, like musical instruments. The last one is Travis. Okay. And then see how everything's shifted over, we can finally go here and complete this one. And say OK. And so now wave 1 is completed and ready for the new data to come in. So yeah, see on my screen, this thing works at 100%. I can see the whole graph. It's just that we're hooked up to a TV right now, and in order to see this whole thing within the screen, you have to move down to 80%. And so when you're doing it, you may have to make some adjustments. So the nice thing about these graphs is that there's only these 5 things that you're graphing, and so they all 5 just fit right into this area. Okay, so this one is done here. Change from the R to the S. So the first few waves included more than just the total for the base. They also, in some cases, included family practice clinics. And early on, we had wanted to include the family practice clinics as individual lines here. But the later waves will only have the bases as a whole, so you don't have to worry about the family health clinic that's associated with that base MTF. And so it should save you a little bit of time, as you only have to deal with nine lines per graph in the later waves. So wave 2 is done. So we change that to be this. I'm going to go breathe on the CO2 detector in the corner over there. So it'll turn on the air conditioning for the room. See that little white box in the corner? Yeah. Breathe on it until it goes up above 5,000.
You could just open the door.
Yeah, we're not making that much money.
Yeah.
I guess not. So we tried to keep them all in alphabetical order, and it's just helps the people who are reading the graph later to be able to find their bases.
This part you do every week, right?
Yeah, this part is done every week. I'm just getting everything to the point where we can have everything set up.
This is what
Well,
so you know how it's grabbing data from other machines. It's very algorithmic at this point.
yeah, so this is something that you might be able to get some sort of program to do for you. That will save a lot of heartache in that respect. wave 3 is done. So if you notice that this one finally gets to the point where it's sort of caught up with that we're finally dropping this one in wave 4, because before that it was kind of short and hadn't been around long enough to be of an issue.
The Ellsworth there, don't you?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's the top one.
One that has Ellsworth. They've been doing very well for themselves here. But it looks, I'm not sure that if there's,
touch.
yeah, but are they slowing down though?
And Holland was taking credit for this one.
I mean, they're not
They're slowing down?
well, if you notice that the graph is starting to, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. It's almost as if there's somewhere in the 40s.
Well,
maybe
don't you
like
expect
a
a plateau?
Yeah.
Of course.
yeah.
You get after you get those 80% of the patients, or 20% of the patients, you spend 80% of the resources.
Yeah.
Then you stop bringing them into the clinics.
The main thing is supposed to be just to get everybody signed up.
Yeah. We're working on ways, but it's hard to do without.
We probably need to do it. It would be interesting to see the rate. The rate of empowerment. Yeah. And see, I'm sure it's going to be towards the beginning of implement, maybe between the first 2 months, you get a spike when you start seeing it.
The rate of change?
Yeah, the rate of empowerment.
So this one was the easier one because they've still not reached that point where you need to drop off the older ones. So this one, again, all you need to do is just do that one, change the BR to BS, and you're done with wave 5.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, now the tricky part here. I'm trying to insert.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm trying to do. Actually, what I'm trying to do is to get rid of all this stuff here.
Still.
Just get rid of everything here. I think we got rid of everything. Okay, so chart 1, let's see if we can get this to work here. What here is to copy this whole mess over here, and so we pasted this whole thing into here. So you see we basically took what was here, put it into here, and this whole mess in here. I'm not sure why that's there. We just have to move it. Doesn't work for us right now.
stubborn.
So clicked here.
Use the keyboard to
Yeah,
move
just
the
use the arrows, I think.
Once we can get it to.
Should show up and keep maneuvering around the edge there. It should
Yeah.
show-
and everything.
Just use your arrow
It's
key.
not.
No, not that one,
No.
the arrow.
Okay.
On your keyboard. Oh,
So click it. There's no one to go.
You have to catch it when it shows up.
yeah.
Okay, then
Ah,
control.
there you go. Now use your arrow keys.
Use it, please.
No.
Still not. Do it.
Misledge it.
Control copy.
Yeah, but we'll work on it later then. But at least what we're doing here is that we're going to change this because we're dealing with this one. And actually, what I'll do is I'll just start off back here. We want to go to BS, so we'll just include BR over here. We'll just do this temporarily for just these two. But you see, later on, what you want to do is to eliminate this column because there's nothing really there. So what we can do is go edit. See what we're here. See, previously we were down here. Then you notice that we want to go from BR, but we also want 163 instead of 162. So like that. And see, on applied sense, it has a 0 there. And so the same. So that should have changed to the 163 row. Bring the R into there. Make sure that looks okay. And remember, for when you start adding the new bases and stuff, you're going to be starting everybody's going to go back. Eventually, go back to not instead of BR, everyone will start at BS. Even for the newer ones, as they come on, you go all the way back to where the blank ones are. Otherwise, you'll have the dates not corresponding properly. Okay, so now this one is now ready for use. So now this one is ready. So I'm going to insert a new chart. Okay. what happened was that because we inserted over here, the first time it was taking a lot of data from over here. And since we stuck it over here this time and then shifted it over, then it didn't have any data to take. Okay, so again, right in the corner here, Control C, come over here, and then paste option. We've got all this stuff in here. Alright. Let's see. Just like we did before, select data. I'm going to change this to the BR. So that should be, this way we're only dealing with these two. And let's see. Okay. Now Goodfellow. Let's see. What I like to do is to alphabetize them. You can sort of eyeball it and see that Goodfellow is going to be the third one. But if you're not that good with alphabetizing, you can always come in here, light them all up, data, sort. Oops. Sort in column C. Yeah. So just to confirm that this is the order that they'll be in. So Goodfellow will be the third one. And so I'm gonna close this one and don't save it. Alright. So that'll, if you keep the color scheme, it'll be this same color that Dias is. So what we can actually go through is go in there and just take over Dias. So I'm doing this all on the keyboard because it doesn't quite work so well with that. Let's see, when you come over here, you can figure out where you are here. It's at 125, but we're starting all the way over at the BR one this time, though we want to do it at BS. We can't use the arrow keys, so I found that out. Okay, and then W is all the way to the end of the last column, so that's okay. Okay, so we got Goodfellow, and basically, just going to go through and eliminate everybody else. Everybody else will be coming in over time. And just like we did last time, all these things you'll have to deal with, or just sort of deal with figuring out what color to put in there. And then up here, change that to wave 6. And you're pretty much done. And we just, we'll save it. Okay. How's that look? Pretty straightforward. Not too painful.
That's very.
Yeah, very painful. Alright. Let's see, when like next Thursday or Friday, you can come through and add the next space that will be used.
Yeah.
So just so you can show, we didn't change this one, so you can see this thing. So next, we did Goodfellow this week, so next time you'll be adding Laughlin into it.
Okay.
Laughlin's going to be sort of in the middle of the pack, so you may have to do a resort to figure out where it is, and then figure out which color you want it to be. But that's it. Save it, make sure it's all saved properly.
But it'll automatically assign a color, right?
No, it
No.
won't. Yeah, actually, it will automatically assign a color, but it may not be the color that you want it to be.
Hmm.
And that's why you can go in there, click it, right click, format data series, and then you can change which marker you want it to be. I've been doing all squares at size 5, and what color the marker should be, what color the line should be. And then if you need to, the marker line color will put a little line surrounding the marker if it doesn't stand out enough for you.
Okay.
But that's it for here. And we just put this extra one since usually you need at least two data points when you have graphs. So next Thursday or Friday when you're creating the next week's graph to prepare for the next Mondays, two Mondays from now, you just eliminate this and let this one, and then add the next date onto there. Okay. So, any questions or other concerns? Okay. In that case, I'll close this. Yeah. Alright. So we'll close that one, and then we'll see it's. There it is. That's the one we just updated at 410. Okay. And so I give this back. Turn this back over to Dr. Olani to conclude our